Sonja again from East Coast Recovery, and this week we've got the lovely Christine from North London. Hi, Christine. What are you celebrating? Is it your third or your fourth year now in recovery?
4 years there, last 2 weeks ago.
Okay, it's incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've got through 4 years. I don't know how I've done it, but I have.
Okay, so we've got some questions to ask you. We're just looking at again with Christine, we're looking at relationships when people are on drugs and alcohol. We're looking at the effects, negative or positive. We're just trying to get some input from people that have actually been in the experience. So, Christine, how did your addiction affect your relationships with family and people around you?
Where do I start? Toxic, manic. I don't think I had any relationships, to be honest with you. With none of my family, with no one, just myself and my drug, my drink.
What did social events and celebrations like? You know, you've got big family, so did your kids invite you to birthday dues, christening?
I think they only invited me because they knew I weren't going to get there. If I did get there, I ended up with a stolen gift or something that I found on the street or something that I found in my house. So as soon as I walked in the room, I knew I was an embarrassment because the way they were looking at me, none of them sort of acknowledged me. And if I was there and they see I was standing at the bar, they'd tell me to go home. And it's not very often I actually got there. I always made excuses up.
So, yeah, same.
I don't feel well, my battery's dead, or I didn't get the invite. Always an excuse not to get there.
Yeah.
Just horrible. And when I did walk in the room, I just felt the atmosphere in there that I shouldn't be there. They embarrassed me. You know, they didn't want to introduce me as their mum. It was just, it was hard.
Okay, so what was the point when you realised you needed to get help, Christine?
It started in 2010 when my son told me I was going to be a grandmother and told me that if I didn't sort my life out, I would never see his kids, any of them, and he wouldn't bring them near or by me. And from that time, I was in denial. I didn't know how to get help. I was scared because I didn't know how to live in the community. I didn't know what life would be like off of drugs because I was very, very, quite young when I started drugs. And that's all I knew really is living life on drugs, alcohol, and just a manic life, anger, this angry person. And I think the fear of me coming off of it and doing that detox, it just frightened the life out of me. And I was scared to how I'm going to be around my kids, what kind of mother am I going to be, what kind of grandmother am I going to be. Yeah, it was just a lot of fear, anxiety, didn't know how to do it, didn't know where to go for help. I didn't know nothing, and it was my kids that actually found you guys. And then they'd come, I remember them coming on a Friday and saying, right, we found your rehab, you're going. Are you ready to go? At first I was going, no, leave me alone, I ain't going nowhere. And then they said, right, we'll give you the weekend to think about it, but you've got to do it for yourself. You can't do it for us because you've done 3 other rehabs for us and for everyone else that ain't for you. And then we're not wasting our time no more, we're done. And I think giving me that weekend, it made me realise, do I really want this life? I had enough of it anyway. I didn't really want to take the drugs. I didn't want to take the drink, you know. And I think I was dying to get clean, but I was so scared, so feared up. And I think, you know what? Do I really want to die? Do I really not want to know my grandchildren? And that's what made me come in. And I was petrified.
Oh, I remember it very clearly, Christine. So how, from then to now, from 4 years ago to now, how have your relationships changed since being in recovery?
The first 2 years was very hard because my kids couldn't find the trust in me. Because I promised them so many times, and I kept going to rehabs, doing home detoxes, relapsing. And you know, they was very wary of me for the first 2 years of my recovery. And you know, as much as I was showing them and doing what was best for me in recovery, they still had that fear around them. They used to come in and say, why's your eyes red? Why do you look tired? And I used to it used to get on my nerves, but I couldn't understand where my kids were coming from. You know, actually, a little smoke. and she's still telling us she's clean. I think the last year of my recovery, this last year, I think them seeing me go through the death of my mum and my brother, and you know, a lot of things, having my granddaughter, I think that's when it sort of made them realise, you know what, my mum's clean and she's going to stay clean. And I think the last year, you know, since I lost my mum, they see what I've done for my mum, they see I weren't using, and I think that sort of got us really close, because they were so proud of me, you know, that I was there every day, washing my mum, bathing my mum, you know, sorted out her funeral. I think that's what they really realised, you know what, my mum ain't going back out. It's, I can't explain it in words. It's just so overwhelming. I mean, I get emotional because the power of love that my kids have shown me, and not only shown me, you know, it's, I've looked at them and seeing how happy my children are today, because my kids are sad, you know, and they used to walk with their head down. Now they come in here and it's like they've got no fear in their life that I'm going to relapse or I've used, and they don't even come in and look at me. They go, you look well today, Mum, what you been doing today? And you look good today, and you look nice. It's not like, oh, where have you been today? Have you used today? Do you feel like here? And, you know, it's none of that no more. It's like that's gone out the window.
Yeah.
And with their children, and, you know, to hear my grandchildren, I mean, they're 7 and 11. How much, and I've got a 5-month-old, you know, to hear how much they love me, sometimes I get overwhelmed and think, why do these kids love me so much? What have I done for these kids? You know, because I've never known them to years. I've only known my 6-month-old one now as a baby, and I've had my grandson this weekend, and he says to his mum, I love being at Nanny's house. Can I go there next Saturday? I think, you know, it plays with my head, and I've got to stop doing that, because I think, why does he love coming to my house? Why does he love being with me? It's just like overwhelming for me, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and when I look at this 6-month-old baby, the smiles when she sees me, and I tell her come, and she puts her hand out to me. And why? Why does she want to come to me? My addict head starts playing games with me and thinking, like, you know, try and kick my self-worth in, and
I'm not worthy, and you know,
no, I'm not worth it. Why do they love me so much? Why do these kids want to be with me? Why is my daughter my best friend today? For someone who hated me, who despised me, who couldn't be in the same room as me, it's my best. She tells me I'm her rock. And to hear that, to think what I've put my children through. But I remember my son always said to me, my big one, Mum, I love the person inside of you, but I hate the person who's outside of you. That sticks with my head, because deep down I knew what person I was, but I didn't know how to show love. I didn't to give that. All I showed was anger, because that's all I was taught and all I was shown.
And plus, you was a very hurt, fragile young lady. You know, as we all know, the anger covers it all up.
Of course.
So,
because that's how I knew how to behave, was showing my anger. That's how I thought it was normal, but I know today it's not.
Yeah, and that's what the 12 steps, it clears it all up and straightens it all out.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a question as well about, because we're coming up to Christmas now, Christine, I wanted to just ask you, so Christmas and early recovery, spirits are high, the pubs are full, there's lots going on. So can you know, I remember when I first got clean, just to kind of break the stigma of being boring, you know, in sobriety, things are boring, you know. When I first got clean, I remember I was at conventions on Christmas Eve, the Narcotics Anonymous convention in Birmingham. We went to Red Lion Square, to other recovery events. I mean, I remember going to CA dues, meetings. I remember first couple of Christmases, I was in meetings on Christmas Day just to keep safe and to kind of be around the people that were supporting me. What's your kind of process? What would you say to any newcomer regarding early recovery, being at home and Christmas?
Stay away. Stay away. Keep yourself safe, because I remember when I first come out of treatment, I did that. I got mixed up with a few I'm not going to judge or say anything, but I got mixed up with a few, and I was going into wet rooms. The first, because I did that when I first come out of recovery, thought I'd be safe around people in recovery who's not working their program, and went to wet rooms. And the vulnerability that come in me, and I thought, oh, I need to get out of here. What am I doing in here? Because I know where I'm headed, you know, and I didn't want that. So I stayed away from all of that to keep myself safe. Like, Christmas Day, I was in a meeting. Christmas Eve, I was in a meeting. You know, but coming up just passing my 4 years, Christmas is coming up. I'm just excited to give my grandchildren presents that I've paid for. It gives me pleasure that I've got receipts sitting in my drawer. Not stolen. And that's what my Christmas is about, going to a restaurant with my family, because that's what they've booked this year. And you know, I did have thoughts of all the drink being around, but why should that bother me? Because I don't want that. You know, I'm there to see my grandchildren, have a nice day, come home and chill out in my house. And that's what I like to do now, you know.
Yeah, the same as me. I like my PJs and my bed socks.
Yeah, definitely, you know. And even like weekends, people say, don't you get fed up having your grandkids every weekend? Wouldn't you like to have a weekend for yourself? No. You know, I love it with my grandkids. You know, every time I can find spare, I'm with them.
Yeah,
you know? I know that I'm going to be kept safe. Why am I going to go out there and drink all that money and then come in the toilet and spew it up or pee it out? You know what I mean? Okay. I'm done with all that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Christine. Thanks for giving us your time tonight.